You ever wonder why some phrases just stick with you? Like why a simple little proverb can hit harder than a whole lecture? Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to this hitting rhythm, this pattern that our brains are just, hardwired to love. So today, we're going to explore a really powerful structure, one that's been used for thousands of years to make wisdom unforgettable. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with the big question. Why do our brains love patterns so much? I mean, think about it. We're constantly looking for them, right? In music, out in nature, even in just a bunch of numbers. And it turns out this isn't just some weird quirk. Nope. It's actually a fundamental part of how we learn anything. Just think about your favorite song. That beat, that rhythm, that's what makes it so catchy. Or a poem you had to learn in school. The rhyme is what helped it stick, right? See, these patterns aren't just there to look pretty. They're like these little hooks for our brain to grab onto. They take a bunch of messy information, turn it into something orderly, and embed the message so deep that you don't just hear it, you actually remember it. All right, so that brings us to the specific pattern we're going to look at today. It's called parallelism. And really, it's a simple but incredibly powerful structure that's designed to make an idea not just easy to understand, but almost impossible to forget. So what is it? The core idea is actually pretty straightforward. Parallelism takes two related ideas and puts them right next to each other in this really balanced way. It's almost like an echo. The second part reflects or maybe even contrasts with the first. And because of that repetition, the meaning gets so much stronger, so much louder. Okay, let's look at a classic example. Check out the pattern here. You've got my light and my salvation, and then that's echoed by the stronghold of my life. Both of those phrases are talking about the same thing, right? Safety, security. It's not just repeating for the sake of repeating, it's reinforcement. That second thought makes the first one even more powerful. But here's the cool part. Parallelism isn't always about saying the same thing in a different way. Sometimes, like here, it uses complete opposites. You've got weeping and laughing, mourning and dancing. By putting these contrasts side by side in that same balanced structure, the text gives you the whole picture of life, It's acknowledging that there's both the good and the bad, the sorrow and the joy. So you can see, this isn't just some dusty old writing trick. It's a seriously powerful tool for persuasion. You hear it all the time in famous speeches. I mean, think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. That repetition, that's parallelism. And it works because the structure itself is a way of teaching. It kind of builds this path for your mind to follow. And a lot of the time it leads you to a really clear, almost unavoidable choice. Okay, take a look at this one from Proverbs. The structure here lays out two completely different paths, and it does it with absolute clarity. On one side, you've got the wise person who stores up knowledge. That's all about building, preparing for the future. And on the other side, the fool, whose mouth invites ruin. That's about destruction. That side-by-side structure makes the contrast, you just can't miss it. And that's when you see what the author is really trying to do. It's all about education. The structure basically forces you to compare the two outcomes. It's not really a command, like, do this. It's more of a guide. It just lays out the two roads and trusts that you're smart enough to pick the better one. All right, now this is where things get really interesting. You have to ask, why this structure? Why not just use rhyming like in so much other poetry? Well, the answer shows some pretty incredible forward thinking. And here is the absolute genius of it. Think about it. Rhymes are all about how words sound. A rhyme that works perfectly in ancient Hebrew is totally lost when you translate it to English or Spanish or any other language. But parallelism, that's a structure of ideas. The contrast between storing up knowledge and inviting ruin, that idea is powerful in any language. This thing was basically engineered to last forever. So this brings us to the really big idea here. This ancient, super durable structure, it points to a much deeper philosophy about what learning is even for. It's suggesting that real education isn't just about cramming your head full of facts. It's about building a good life. The big takeaway here is that these patterns aren't just there by accident. No, they are intentional tools. They were designed specifically to help us understand and really internalize important truths. And once you learn to see that underlying structure, the whole message just opens up in a completely new way. And this really gets to the heart of it all. What's the point of having a ton of knowledge if you don't have morality to guide it? This whole style of teaching argues that you can't separate the two. The ultimate goal isn't just to be smart, it's to be wise. It's about applying what you know in a way that actually leads to a better, more meaningful life. And ultimately, this whole way of thinking promises a really profound result. It's not about being the best debater or getting a perfect score in a test. No, the final goal, the destination of this kind of learning, is life and peace. It's this idea that a mind that's in tune with these kinds of patterns finds not just clarity, but a real deep sense of calm. So we're going to leave you with this to think about. We've just seen how a simple structure, a pattern, can guide wisdom across thousands of years. So the question for all of us, for you and for me, is this: what are the hidden patterns that are guiding your life today? And maybe more importantly, where are they taking you?